GlazersMedia.com. We make famous people rich. We make rich people famous.
Welcome to the D-Money Show. Don't be a clown, don't sleep.
Gotta let him have it.
Welcome to the D-Money Show. Fuck.
We are here live with Vito Glazers. Thank you for coming to the studio.
Thank you for having me. Grateful to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A legend.
Come on.
You are a legend.
Takes one to know one. Let's go.
So let's start at the beginning. We go way back. You are a digital marketer and you date back till 2012-ish.
Probably like 08, 09 really got into it. But yeah, 2012 started really hitting my stride.
Nice. So what's interesting about your evolution is that unlike other marketers, you've actually dipped into Hollywood a little bit. So you've done things on TV like Bravo and Netflix. You've been a star in a whole bunch of shows, including, I think, Below Deck. You have like the second biggest show of all time, which is really impressive, by the way. I'm going to have to watch that episode.
Don't. It's terrible.
Right. Anyway, so I just want to know, how did you dip into the Hollywood scene being a digital marketer?
Yeah, and I appreciate you asking. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me here, and this is long overdue, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm really grateful to be sharing our stories here. The main reason I think this is important for us to do is because, you know, not just in digital marketing, but in the whole world, right? And like everybody in their careers, there's a lot of people who aren't doing what they really want to do, you know? And I think I'm one of those people that has just, I always had kind of my eye on how can I connect with the most people and have the most impact, right? And digital marketing was a vehicle for that in some capacity, but really I'm always looking for the bigger stage, right? So I didn't really ever want to be a digital marketer. And it's kind of funny because I'm not really like good at technology. I'm like kind of the last guy that would be like anything to do with tech and computers. I'm more of like an artist, creative. But I got into digital marketing because originally was kind of doing like, you know, I was like working in a call center and then I was doing like mortgage business and but there was never any satisfaction to it. It was always just a job, right? So I wanted to get away from the job. And then I've had some friends that were doing digital marketing and I seen it as a really cool opportunity. I seen advertising as a path to being able to take my business knowledge and combine it with my desire to have creative impact. And so the biggest thing is I just didn't want to be a starving artist. I wanted to be a thriving artist. And in order to do that, you just have to follow the money, right? So I was like, well, there's not really any money in art. And, you know, I'm from Chicago. Like, how do you make money from this? So when I found, my original quest was to find advertising, get into advertising. And I think it was just the right timing where digital was starting to really take off, right? This is like, you know, we're talking 08, 09, MySpace barely, you know what I mean? But MySpace was pretty much the main social network. And I liked it. And I always kind of had a knack for kind of putting myself out there, getting attention, but didn't really know what to do with it. So then when I found affiliate marketing, digital marketing, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool because I'm good at getting attention and I can now sell that attention to brands and to offers and stuff like that are basically willing to pay you the commissions to you know, bring them the traffic. So that was kind of a unique model, but then really I just kind of got sucked into it. And it was because I had this kind of like front-facing mindset where I was like, okay, I'm going to put myself in, it's funny to say like put yourself in front of the camera, but like there was nowhere to really like put yourself even, right? So like the first thing I really had was like a kind of like an email list. It was like a newsletter, basically just explaining my journey. I'm like, okay, this is how we make money. And then we would incentivize people by giving them free training. And then when they would learn it, we would just take a rip on the top. And then that basically became the huge affiliate network model, right?
Wow.
So it's not that, I'm not saying that like we invented it, but or like my group of friends invented it, but we found it on our own and we kind of developed our own thing outside of everybody else who was kind of discovering it. So it's kind of like that great minds think alike thing, right? So next thing you know, we've got these affiliate networks. We've, you know, got a lot of reach. Social media starts getting bigger. So that was kind of just how the journey went up to that point. But then what I ended up finding is like I got into advertising to be creative. But then once you get affiliate marketing, it's a very data-driven business, right? So now it's almost more like day trading, right? You're getting really analytical and mathematical. And basically my whole 20s went by and I'm creeping on my 30s and I'm like, I'm still just doing stuff I don't want to do. I'm not fulfilling any creative fulfillment. I'm not getting any creative fulfillment out of my work. I was having some impact. There's always impact when you're teaching people how to make money. I think it's important. But I was like, I'm not really trying to be like a how do you make money guru or whatever, right? So, and the other thing was in digital marketing, it's a little cliquish, right? So I kind of felt like I was like boxed into these cliques. And what I was really trying to do is like, I'm trying to be like if I, at the time I was like, if I'm going to do business, be like a business guy, I'm like, I want to be like a Tony Robbins. I want to be from the stage. But I really, at the end of it, I was like, I really just want to be on TV. I want to be making movies. I like writing. I like even back then, I liked doing comedy and skits and stuff, but I just didn't really have it dialed in because I was spending so much time doing this day job, right? And affiliate marketing is very consuming. It's a lifestyle, morning till night, you're on the computer. And so I kind of had my first really dip into the Hollywood world was our group of friends all moved out here to LA. We were we were doing a lot of affiliate stuff for the adult industry, and adult kind of like opened up the gates to meeting like producers, going to the Playboy mansions, getting into stuff. And I was like, okay, now that I'm out here in LA, this was around this was 2009 when we moved out to LA. So yeah, I think I actually started affiliate marketing earlier. I would say like 2006 maybe, because we were already a couple years in by the time I got to LA. So when we got to LA, I'm like, okay, I'm in LA. I'm making money. I got to figure this out. From Chicago. Yep. So I'm like 23 years old. Let me do the math on that. I'm 40 now. I'm going to be 40, 2025. Take 15 years off of that. 25. Yeah. So yeah, 2009, 2010, we're out here. And 24, 25 years old. Got way too much more money than you know what to do with. And I'm like, I got to figure out how to make my Hollywood dream come true, And a lot of people just give up on their dream, right? They get comfortable with their money. To me, like money's a tool, right? So like I have this saying where it's like, if you try to trying to have all the money in the world is like trying to hold the ocean. And it's like, if you're trying to hold it, you're always going to lose it. But if you learn how to surf on it, you can kind of go wherever you want, right? And that's how money works for me too. It's like trying to hoard all the money. Every time I've tried to hoard money and like save up and stuff, it just ends up, the government takes their piece, like you end up paying people's bills, and it just never goes to me. Right. So now now I learn how to surf money, cash flow in, cash flow out, and I use it to elevate myself to get to like whatever destination I want to get to, right? So I'm doing I start dabbling in Hollywood. There wasn't a big demand for guys that weren't great looking, no talent, no experience, no connection, surprisingly. So what I did is I was like, well, I do have this digital marketing skill set and network that Hollywood at the time was really resisting, if you remember. Like they were like trying everything to like keep digital down. Like they're like they were trying to keep content on social media down. They were trying to keep tube sites down. And so I saw the opportunity to say, I can kind of bridge a gap here between old Hollywood and where things are going digitally, and I can add a lot of value. So the first company, I founded a social media agency in Hollywood. It's called Hollywood Vine Group. I had a couple partners on that, all cool guys. And we actually brought in, we started doing social media management and just social media consulting for really established celebrities online. So it was our client book was like, we had like Danny Trejo, and we had Amelia Rivera from Mayans. We had Jay and Silent Bob, like Kevin Smith and Jay Muse were our neighbors. They came on as clients. Andy Dick. So like all these like kind of names, we kind of help them really like get onto social media for the first time. And if you look at all these, like a good dozen of the people that came through our pipeline back then, they're like leaps and bounds ahead on social media even today. Wow. So that was kind of like a value that we were able to bring that gave me a lot of the baseline and a lot of the connections to like agents, producers, people that I know now recognize the contributions that we made to social media into like integrating it into like the Hollywood world, 10, 15 years ago. And it's crazy because 10, 15 years isn't that long of a time, but think about how far it's come, right? Like Facebook, and now remember Instagram. When I heard Instagram, I thought it was like a drug delivery site, right? It was like, I was like, what is Instagram? Why would anybody want square pictures in their pockets? Right now, there's full on, like our company generates over $1 million in leads through my personal Instagram running no ads every year. It's like
a drug.
It really is. People love it. And I'm hooked on it. You know, I'm on there all day long, and it really and I can't imagine these kids on TikTok and stuff. But anyway, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, that was basically the track. Is like we started. I got into advertising because I wanted to be creative. Found that I lost myself in the business side of it again. Ended up in Hollywood. Didn't really have the ability to get the roles and do the stuff that I wanted to do in Hollywood. So I just said, you know, like your boy Too Short says, get in where you fit in, right? So there was a big need to connect digital to old school Hollywood. And that was kind of the first step. And then from there, you know, it was kind of like this weird, like the universe like forced it. You know, if you follow like these philosophers like Rumi and Abraham and a couple different books that are about like manifestation and stuff like that, it's a lot of people think that they're like, well, I'll take the first step once like I have a plan, but the universe really like the plan doesn't happen until you take the first step, right? And then it starts giving you the opportunities. So once I kind of jumped into it, I was like, I'm not going the other way. It was like every year that went by, I was doing a little bit less affiliate marketing and a little more Hollywood, and a little less and a little less. And then there was like some events that happened. I get, you know, just like everybody in this industry, screwed by business partners, sued by the government, have a child with the Antichrist, like all these things happen in this culmination of events where I basically was like, okay, you know, if I want to keep doing affiliate marketing, digital marketing, it's just such an uphill battle. But then I looked and I was like, you know what? I've been doing the entertainment side for so long now. I'm actually making either the same amount of money or more on the entertainment side. I was like, I can kind of start giving this up. And you never really give up being a digital marketer, right? Like no matter what you're doing, you can apply the skills. And that's what makes it so cool. So if I had to give like an encouraging word to anybody who was in digital marketing who maybe wasn't 100% fulfilled with their career, is I would say use digital marketing as like the college of the digital streets, right? Learn all the skills you can learn and then take them to apply it to whatever you're passionate about, whatever really truly lights you up. And those skills will set you aside and you will be successful. And whatever you spend your time and your energy on is what's going to be successful. Don't chase like niche to niche. These guys, like, I know digital marketing, right? They're doing grants, then they're doing mortgage, then everybody's chasing the little easy money dragon. Just your passion and what's important to you, reverse engineer the audience, find where those people are, and then just use your digital marketing skills. It's all really basic, right? It's marketing. You got to get people to look at it. Find out where your people are, find out how to connect with them. And then you basically have to sell them, right? So if you're using a landing page, then you're selling them through the landing page. If you're using a call center, then you're closing them on the phone. But maybe move them to an event, sell them in person. And then once you sell them, you got to fulfill something. And I think that's where the digital marketing industry suffers, is on the fulfillment side, right? They're so focused on generating leads and they're so focused on selling. People don't spend the time it takes to build like a real brand. And that's why people are always chasing the next thing, because let's say the offer or whatever gets a negative reputation, people stop falling for it, then you got to move on to the next thing. But if you actually focus on the fulfillment and giving people something great, then you don't really have to keep jumping around, right? You can actually build a real brand. The brand perpetuates its own reputation. And that's what we did with Glazers Media. We kind of really focused on fulfillment. How can we be really good at delivering what clients are paying for, which is now, we focus on public relations, media relations, production, and we just do a great job fulfilling so that we don't have to keep jumping around. And it's been really a journey to like learn all the skills in digital marketing, go through all the effort to find out not just what I'm passionate about, but also where there's a demand for it. And then also create this like ability to market people, sell them and fulfill them and perpetuate it. And now you see kind of like you wake up one day and you're like, I don't remember it ever being any different, but now we've got I've got 2 shows that were on the Emmy ballot, 2 reality shows. Hollywood Dream Life and Hollywood Disclosure. Couple Emmy-nominated documentaries. One of them was My Transparent Life. We're trending right now on Amazon with The Rise of OnlyFans. That's our new documentary. I have a new one scheduled for distribution in June. It's called Pay Pigs. So you see, we take some of like the stuff from the adult world, the digital world, the audience, put it all together. And now I'm actually doing what I want to do. And we're having a lot of fun. And I'm here talking to you about it.
It's beautiful. So wow, let's get into it a little deeper then.
Let's do it.
So you mentioned how early on in your career you had to kind of clean it up, your reputation. And being a digital marketer, you've learned to hack into that matrix of how to clean somebody's reputation online. So a big part of what you're offering is reputation management.
Yes.
So that's a big part of what you can do for clients. And
absolutely.
So you have different tiers. You have tier 1 and a tier 2. So tier 1 is more of a PR reputation management. And then if somebody wants to step up a notch, can you explain the differences?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you a little quick 30-second background on how we got into reputation management. And again, another thing that I never really pursued, right? But obviously in the digital marketing time, you get hit with the lawsuits, you have your fallouts with your business partners. These guys are good at digital. So what happened was at the time, a bunch of people that actually owed me money. Isn't this funny? It's like always the people that owe you money that are treating you like you're the problem, right?
That's how it works.
So they, instead of just like settling it with me diplomatically, they went and tried to destroy my name, get me kicked out of the industry, which ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me because it was kind of funny because I was just trying to kind of fix my reputation to just get back in the industry, right? And what happened was I got so good at fixing my reputation. I had so many eyeballs on me from people kind of watching the fallout that people started being like, hey, your stuff looked really bad a year ago. And now I see you like on Forbes and Huffington Post and Fox News and all this stuff. They're like, I'm also trying to build a brand. And now my competitors are doing the same thing to me. If I give you some money, would you help me out? And I'm like, okay, well, you're my friend. So yeah, give me 20 grand and I'll clean this up for you. Right. And then 2 more referrals and then 2 more. And then next thing you know, I'm like, okay, well, I'm making more money from this than I was doing from the affiliate stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, well, and I'm good at it and it makes me feel good and it's like fixing a real problem that people are having and stuff like that. So I started doing PR, Glazers Media, what it is today, the public relations company. We did start initially focused all on basically fixing negative reputation management, search results online. Problem is, it's like a lot of the people who have reputation management problems, I hate to say it, some of them deserve it. And so,
can't help everybody.
They're just a challenge. It was a challenging client base. And it was funny because I actually had lunch with your brother maybe 10 years ago. And I was telling him this idea I had where I was like, look, I know how to do, I've watched what you've done with the tapes and stuff like that. And I'm like, I also have this kind of like formula where I'm like, I think I could make people into celebrities. And I don't think he saw the vision because he was kind of like, he's like, I just don't get it. He's like, what are you promoting? You got to know what you're promoting. I'm like, I just know that there's rich people out there who just want to promote themselves, And so I don't think he really saw the vision, but then like time went by and I was like, okay, well, I'm spending all this time fixing people's reputations, which we still do. And I think we're one of the greats at it. But what's even easier and more fulfilling and more fun is if you want to build, we call it building the reputation now. And that's really all PR is, right? Is letting people know who you are, what you're about, what makes you special, unique, different, and getting high-level media outlets to validate that, through like third-party validation. So really what we do, it's the same for reputation management and reputation building. First of all, if you are putting yourself out to the world to more than 1,000 people, which we all are, it's undeniable that a small percentage or maybe even a large percentage of those people are going to be completely crazy and deranged, especially behind a keyboard. So
I've seen it.
No matter what you think you're doing, there's no way to hide. There's just no point in hiding. And I know people are like, oh, I respect my privacy, or I want my privacy. I want to be private. If you are running a business or you're online, you need attention, you need traffic, you need people looking at you. And by getting people to look at you, you're going to attract some crazy people who are going to go on the internet and write something about you. There's no way around it. So actually, I even said the best way to protect your privacy is give the internet something to talk about you that you're in control of, right? So what we've started doing, so basically the tiers really relate more to how much press we're doing for you. But essentially, we have 3 programs that we do to help people that want to work with us. And our bottom level is a mentorship plan, where basically you sign up with us, and every week I kind of mentor you on how to get press for yourself. I just tell you exactly how we do it, and then it's up to you to go out and do the work. It's a lot of work to get PR. But this is good for people that have less money but more time. Or maybe you have like a lot of assistants that are just sitting around. You don't know what they don't have enough tasks. So we'll mentor you to essentially learn how to get on podcasts, get on television news, build your reputation, build your reputation online, get your, look like the celebrity that you are. If you do have something notable or talented, and if you don't, I help you actually build some notability about yourself, whether that's we write books, produce a little reality show, even a YouTube channel, whatever it is, something so you are more than just like, a boring business person, right? Because you're as exciting as your business is to you, there's only like a handful of things that people really get excited about. And it's pretty much like actors, singers, musicians, comedians, politicians, athletes. Like these are the people that people want to follow online. So what we try to do is like, if you want to build that brand out, we try to like create you into something, right? So instead of being like, an affiliate marketer, we might be like, okay, we're going to make you into like a YouTuber who happens to talk about affiliate marketing, right? Or make you an author who is an expert on affiliate marketing.
So a big part of what you do is to see their greatness.
Exactly.
And extract it.
Yep.
And tell them this is what you should be.
Yes.
Because this is what you're doing.
Absolutely. And that's a great way to put it. And I appreciate you kind of packaging that, because that's exactly right. We call it finding your claim to fame. So I think everybody deserves a minute in the spotlight if they want it. And it's just up to working with experts to determine, okay, well, what is it that makes you special, unique, and what makes people want to follow you, right? And learn from you and grow from you. So so really what our formula is this is what we mentor people on, is how to start getting press initially, right? So how to start telling your story initially. If you're not famous already, the press doesn't want to write about you, right? So you have to kind of go. So we do press releases where we kind of create that claim to fame. We create this narrative of notability, some kind of news announcement, right? We create a news announcement and we put that out in our voice. Like if you were to, let's say you wanted to start with me, I would say, Darren, number one thing we're going to do is we're going to put a press release in your voice. And we're going to try to get some big sites to pick it up right now. So we get you on like Yahoo Finance. We'll get you on Business Insider. We'll get you on Reuters. And then what we do is we take that press release and hopefully we get on a couple decent sites. And then we pitch that to our network of journalists that are maybe running like trade publications, or they're running, tabloids, or like lower hanging media. So we'll use you as the example, right? So we'll do a press release. You've got a big event coming up, probably August, right? You're doing affiliate ball. We would do, you should be doing press releases for this if you're not already. It's like, because you got big acts and stuff, right? So you'd be like.
Yeah, the problem with me is I'm kind of like I'm a little different because my events are private.
Right.
So like I wouldn't want to do a press release and have everybody know that they could come see Too Short or Snoop Dogg, because then I get a whole bunch of outsiders.
Right.
So for me, I'm kind of like, the only press I need would be within the industry.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's another that is a really valid point, is that like the world doesn't always have to be your audience. And in fact, when you go too broad, you really do yourself a disservice. The riches are in the niches, right? So you found a good niche. And that's another thing that we'll help you do is like, or help clients do, is we help figure out, okay, who's really the audience you're trying to sell? Anytime a client tells me my audience is everyone, I know that they need like a lot of work, because I'm like, that's great if your audience is everyone, but then you better have money to reach everyone, right? And then, so usually what it is like, well, we can't afford to go this broad. So, okay, let's figure out where your people are, narrow it down. So let's say, obviously we're going to keep using you as the example, but you've got big news, right? It's like Too Short headlining the affiliate ball, right? And so I don't know if that's official yet. So I'm like,
it's almost official. Okay. We have a verbal right now. Yeah.
Well, we can edit this out if it's not official. But
we've worked with each other so many times. It's pretty much official.
But that's a newsworthy event, right? That's a notable event. So you do the press release, you put it out, then. Since it's affiliate marketing, right, and those are the people you're trying to reach, instead of going to like going straight to like Bloomberg or something, which isn't really going to help you, you go to the journalists who write about affiliate marketing or write about internet marketing. So that might be like some ad tech publications. It might be some marketing journals. It's not necessarily going to be like Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Inc., like the brand name ones, right? So then we get journalists writing about you in industry specific publications because they're more likely to break a story, right? And then from there, we pretty much will take those journalists' written stuff and we'll start pitching that to podcast hosts that are in your industry. We'll pitch those to local television networks. So if the event's in New York, you might want to do like a news segment on, right now in New York, we work with Pix 11. They're the largest broadcast news television that hits the most homes in New York. And so you might want to go on there and tell people about the event, tell people how it happened. The big thing is with television, people are like, well, television has no value, but people still perceive television as having like a high barrier of entry. So what we do is we get you on the television. People usually get something from it, but then the real value is in taking that video of you in the news studio, clipping it down, and then turning that into your social media ad. And that's kind of where my direct response background combined with a public relations knowledge gives us the ability to kind of operate at a little bit higher level than your normal PR company who's like, yeah, go on the news. We fulfilled it, good luck. We actually tell you how to make that into an asset where it's like, no, now take this and go make money with it, right? And then so from the news, so once we got you on like news and podcasts, we're growing your story, you're becoming more visual. Then we start to take you to those big tier 1 publications, your Forbes, your Inc., your entrepreneur.com, whatever you would know, like those, anything that's like a brand name publication. And it's different for everybody. So for somebody like yourself, I'd probably take it to like, Maxim. It's always cool to be in Forbes, but I feel like Forbes as a brand has kind of been watered down a little bit because a lot of marketers kind of like abused it. Mm-hmm. But it still has a lot of credibility and it ranks amazing in Google. And I think it has value. That's not to be overlooked. And also the other thing with marketers is like marketers think everybody's a marketer. But really, it's like such a small group of people. And it's like, yeah, if you want to impress your marketer friends, like it's going to be pretty hard to do because we've kind of seen it all. Mm-hmm. But when you're dealing with like a customer and even like, even a doctor or a lawyer or somebody who's like smart but not attuned to marketing, those Forbes articles and those like, Business Insider stuff, it still has tremendous impact on building trust and converting them into clients for you. But again, it really all depends on what your goal is. But so yeah, we do the press releases, the editorials, we start getting you on podcasts and news, we start getting you in tier 1 stuff. And then from there, it's like, well, where do we take it? Then from there, it's like, okay, well, now we got to go to the biggest stage. So what we try to do is we train people to do like public speaking or to do some kind of creative, like collaborations. And then the last move is once you're kind of a brand of your own, then we try to get you celebrity collaborations, which is actually exactly what you do because, right, like to amplify your brand, what do? You get people like Too Short, you get people like Fat Joe, you get those associations, and that makes you a celebrity by association, right? At least even to the people that like look up to you, it's because they're like, okay, well, he's with these people, so that elevates his presence. And then what we've realized is that by doing these things for brands or for personal brands or CEOs or literally everybody benefits from it. The biggest things that we see are you're able to charge more money for the same service. People are more willing to pay for somebody that has like a really established brand. The conversion process is actually much easier. And I know like the digital marketing world, these people like they're very notorious for like making these fake news sites or doing like fake endorsements from celebrities. Well, why are they doing that? Because it works. Right. Right. And the thing is, I've actually explained to a couple of these guys, and I'm not judging anybody because I've settled with the Federal Trade Commission. I'm like, look, man, like I get it. It's, if there's nobody teaching us right and wrong in this business, so you got to kind of learn it. But what I have explained to a lot of people, I'm like, that lawsuit you paid all that money to the FTC for, you could have literally paid Kim Kardashian to just endorse your product for the same amount. And you would actually have a real brand that you can go on and sell to a venture capital company instead of just like a little thing here, And I'm like, at the end of the day, it's, I love 50 Cent's book. He's got the book 50th Law with Robert Greene. He literally says, he's like, all the money that I made drug dealing, when you add up the time in jail, when you add up the lawyers, when you add up all the stress and everything, he's like, I was making minimum wage. And that's just how it is. When you're not building a real business or when you're not creating something that has a real value that you can sell off down the road, you're really just you're spinning your wheels, and you might as well just do it right. And we help people do it right.
So going back to impressing others, especially in the digital marketing world, one of the things that impressed me after coming back into the fold with my man Vito was that you came back with like over 2 million followers. And for a digital marketer, that's kind of unusual. because usually our guys, we don't get that many followers. So you also teach people how to get these followers. And I think a large part of your base of clientele are influencers, right?
Yep.
So how do you do it?
I'll tell you, there's only one way to do it right now. And I mean, technically, I guess there's two ways. Like, one, you can run ads. Two is you just have to collaborate with celebrities and influencers and cross promote each other's audiences. There's no shortcut. I mean, the likelihood of like going viral and getting tons of followers these days is just like you're scratching lotto tickets to do that. I mean, I think you should do it, but like you should still create great content for the audience and build your tribe and all that. But like the reality is, I even know people right now that are getting that have like videos that are doing 20 million views and they still can't get over 5,000 followers. And it's just really because people now, they're like, oh, that's fun. They're relying so much on the like For You page and the Explore page and timeline to serve them content. They don't even really, it takes a lot for somebody to be like, oh, okay, I want to see you every day, right? And it's that whole marketing thing too, where like you have to make like 10 to 12 touch points to people. But there's one thing that really cuts through that, and it's just if a celebrity or an influencer that people are already following, they've already done the work to capture those people, say follow Vito or go follow him to do something, you know? And that's where the marketing side came in, is that I struggled. You know, I did everything that everybody else is doing. I did the live streams for an hour a week. I posted 3 videos a day. I was trying to add value and build a community and cross people from my Facebook group to my YouTube and my Snapchat and here and there. And I got to like, it took me like years to get to like 10,000 followers, right? So I was at 10,000, maybe 20,000. And then we had the opportunity to do this giveaway with Kim Kardashian. And they were, there was like a direct response company. They had kind of reached out to me. They had this like business model where it was like $1 million for a post to basically post on Kim Kardashian's page. But if we got like 50 brands to split it, we could do it for like 20K each. And so they were kind of like figuring out like, well, what do we offer? What do we do? So it created this whole industry of its own called these giveaway loops. And so I was pretty much the first person to ever sponsor one of these things. And how it worked was you would basically Kim Kardashian would post like a prize. So I always was kind of in the incentive marketing world. Like we just know like, hey, fill out your email to win a free iPad. Fill out, like, give us, you know, you're always going to be given something, right? That's what I know is like, that's the best way to get people to engage. So I said, okay, well, that used to work really good for there. Why don't we try it now with the influencer and say like, okay, well, if you want to win like Kim Kardashian's purse, you have to follow these 50 brands. So we had Kim Kardashian do the post. We got the 50 brands together. Everybody paid their money, whatever it was. And she gets her $1 million for the post. She posts and says, go follow these 50 brands for a chance to win my purse or these purses that I'm giving away. So within 24 hours of that giveaway going live, I went from 20K to 150,000 followers in 24 hours.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Over 1 million clicks to my website. And here's what was crazy is that I had my PR offer really dialed in. So people who follow Kim Kardashian, what do they want? They want to be famous. They want to be famous for nothing, right? So I actually sold over $100,000 in PR packages because my offer was dialed in. All the other brands, the other 49 people were all complaining. They're like, I didn't get famous. People are unfollowing me. I didn't make any money from this, right? Like,
but did you have a sex tape?
right. Well, now everybody's got a sex tape. Yeah. Now people are paying me to like not watch my sex tape, right? It's like, so, this is my stupid joke. It's like I got this site called Only Vitos, and it's like, it's just me, and I start taking my shirt off until you give me $20 to keep it on, you know? So, you know, it's just modern problems require modern solutions. You know what I mean?
$100 to keep it on.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I got to raise the prices, but so. What I realized was when I did the high level overview, I was like, okay, well, I have an offer that's appealing to this demographic. So I literally like 5x my money on that. So if you 5x your money on that, all these other people were like, I wasted my money, whatever. I just got a bunch of followers that don't like my stuff. I looked at it like, okay, if I dial this in a little bit, I'm like, I don't care if like 20% or 50% of the people unfollow me or whatever it is. I'm like, this is becoming like a traffic source for me, right? So I was like, okay, like let's do another one of these, right? So then we did Kylie Jenner. I get 200,000 followers in 24 hours. My offer is really dialed in now. Probably made like close to $500,000 off of that one. And we're just basically taking, because who follows the Kylie Jenner? Plastic surgeons, clothing brands, women who want to launch their own beauty stuff. Like, it's actually a really good demo for PR, because so I'm helping all these brands. I ended up probably doing 150 clients total, all just off of these giveaway models. Over $1 million in sales, 2 comma club winner. This was my only traffic source. But by the time I got to the end of it, so we did collabs with literally all the Kardashians. We did Kim first, Kylie, Khloe, Kendall, Chris, Scott Disick. And then everybody started doing them with like Amber Rose and Cardi B and like anybody we did Nicki Minaj. And like then people started approaching me, like the different managers and stuff, right? So we would team up with them and bring our sponsors. And the people who did it through our company got tremendous results, because what we helped them do before they did the giveaways, what we were able to do was we would say, okay, let's create content, because you're going to get this big flood of content. Let's create visuals and videos that basically when people go to your page, they're going to get to learn about you very quickly, right? And then let's have your follow-up content ready, because these people are going to be there. They're going to be following you. You're only going to have a really small window to capture them. So once they start following you, what do these people didn't follow you because they care about your product. They wanted to win something. Mm-hmm. So why don't you create more giveaways within your page to keep them wanting to win? So what I did is I was like, okay, well, you guys are following me because you want to win the prize, but I'm going to give you another opportunity to win a prize. If you stay following me, next Tuesday, I'm going to be giving away $100 on my live stream, and I'm going to be teaching you about how you can like build your brand in public relations. So people were like, okay, well, I want to win. So they would like mark the notification, and then
it only costs you $100.
And it literally only cost me $100, and we'd always give it away, right? And so, and then what happened? Yeah, then you like show the proof that you sent the PayPal or the Bitcoin or whatever it was, and then people start rallying, and they're like, I want to win again. So you basically have to like meet your audience at their level, right? Like give them don't think that, like, one mistake that creators make is they think that whatever they're doing is the coolest. And you have to find a combo of what people want and what you think is cool, and kind of meet them halfway on that, right? So like I wouldn't say like public relations was ever like on my dream board to do, but it really does meet halfway with what I want to do. It's like I like being creative, and I like being able to produce shows and do books and movies and stuff like that. But I have to also give the audience the value that they need, and the value is in creating the image for them and building that out for them. And it became an art form for me to where I do get like personal gratification from being able to support it. But that's how I built the following. Was we optimized the offer. We'd help people build their offer out. And I would tell people straight up, like, you got to have like, the more expensive your offer is and the more appealing it is, the easier you're going to break even on these things, right? Because like for my example, right, we were selling like a $10,000 offer. If I'm paying $20,000 to sponsor the thing, I only got to get 2 clients out of 1 million people. You know what I mean? It's like, right. Like the conversion rate is really low. And then, so for me, it wasn't really about the followers. It was just about like this big blast of traffic. And then what we started doing was, because Facebook ads or like social ads in general get like more and more competitive every year, right? So I just stopped running cold ads, but because I was getting all these people jammed on my website, what I started doing was just crushing retargeting. So I would only show an ad to somebody who had already come to me. So when I was doing these giveaways, getting these big floods, I was growing this retargeting pool really huge. For $10 a day, I'm hitting like 50,000 people, you know what I mean, that are already warm, right?
And it's great because you have a high ticket item.
Right. Yeah, so I don't even have to sell that many conversions. And now we've even optimized it further where it's a high ticket and it's a subscription. Because before I was trying to have all these clients, but like with PR, you need a lot of money to be good at, to like be like, a lot of the money that we collect goes to getting the PR done. So it's, if you're charging $10,000, like we're lucky to make $2-3 grand.
So
on
it's
that
more
deal,
than
you know?
consulting. You actually take the money, you plug them in, and you get them seen in a whole bunch of different press outlets.
I would say the difference between our company and traditional PR stuff is that, we're willing to like give up a big piece of the retainer to guarantee good results for the clients. And that's why people stay with us for months. Because why would you pay somebody every month and you're not even knowing what you're going to get? Right. Like our contract is really specific. It's like 50% of this is guaranteed, so you know for sure, and then 50% is targets. You want me to pitch Rogan for you? Sure. But like even having like that, the Forbes article or whatever is going to make our Rogan pitch stronger. So it's we have like a really good system for it. But back to the followers, it was like I didn't really care about the followers as much as I cared about following the money. And then the followers was just kind of a bonus, a free thing. But then the thing was like then once I kind of had money coming in, I could do better content. And then I started doing content, and then the followers just kind of shared it more. So, and then obviously like I got married to like a big comedian, and my audience became her audience became my audience. And then we would collab with other people. But like even in the adult industry, like adult performers, they do content collabs. I was kind of fascinated by that because I produced this movie, or helped produce this movie, Rise of OnlyFans. And we interviewed like a lot of the big OnlyFans girls on there. And just to make it clear, like I wasn't endorsing OnlyFans. I really just wanted to tell the story because it's a fascinating story. And one of the highlights that I always bring up is that 99% of the girls on OnlyFans make less than $500 a month. The girls who are making it, those 1% creators, they are really running it like a business. And the core of their model is cross-promoting with the other famous girls. So it's like famous, like you either have to pay. This is how I explain it to my clients, is if you want to be big on social media or just media anywhere, if you want to just be big, you have to either pay. Everybody pays with either money or audience. So if you have a small audience, you need to pay with money. If you have a big audience, you don't have to pay with money, but you have to share that audience. And so let's say like, one of my favorite creators, I got a ton of followers from working with her, was this girl, Droshnik. She's a really good creator. We did a bunch of videos with her, and she had like a couple million followers, right? So we had a couple million followers. That's a good match. Okay, well, you get some of my followers, I get some of your followers. But then somebody else who maybe is like trying to get into it, right? So I've had some clients, like he was trying to get into there. He's like a big sports betting influencer. He's been with me for years. We took him from 4,000 to over 2 million followers over, the years that we've been working together. In the beginning, he only had 4,000 followers. So people are like, why am I going to work with this guy for 4,000 followers? Okay, well, just pay them. And he's worked with a lot of the same people, Jadakiss, French Montana, all the hip hop guys. Pay the hip hop artists because they've got the sports audience too, right? People like hip hop, typically like basketball, football, whatever. So he would pay them to collab with him. And then as his audience grew, now people pay him for access to his audience. So it gets to a point where your audience is big enough where you don't have to keep paying, but you're always are paying. But the audience is an asset. And so I reached about between 2 and 10 million accounts. Now these days, I feel like with social media, it's less about followers because so many people have fake followers. The thing that we really, the metric we use now is audience reach. So it's cool to have followers, but really the metric I would check if you're a brand or if you're like trying to do a collab with somebody is like ask them to send a screenshot of their audience, past 30 days audience reach. That's really telling you what they're getting. That's a more accurate metric. But
that's interesting.
Yep.
So switching gears, you like to make yourself feel a little uncomfortable at times.
Okay.
Because you get up on a stage and do comedy.
Yep.
Not too many people have the balls.
Yeah.
What made you decide that you would like to get up there on a stage, try to do comedy, do a little crowd work?
Yeah.
Like that's so far outside of your reach. Why? How? And you're actually pretty good at it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So the comedy thing was something that found me. Well, basically, I didn't really choose it. I just said, I need something forward facing because just being a business person on its own, unless you're Elon Musk, it's just, you're not going to get following like that. Like people just don't regard it the same way that they regard artists and creatives. It's just the reality of it. Right. So I was like, I need something that's my thing. And I'm like, I'm too old to get into professional sports. Probably not learning a musical instrument anytime soon. I really like doing the acting gigs in the movies and stuff, but the problem with that is it's not like one of those businesses where the more work you put in, you get out, like it matches your output. So I'm like, man, like I need something that gives me creative control that I can also create like a destiny for myself. Right. And the thing was too, is like with the social media thing, I'm always trying to like optimize and grow my following. And I'm like, my following got kind of stale. And I was like, okay, people aren't going to follow videos about how to market and how to do PR forever, right? And the other thing was too, was that, we're in this political climate and I've got like strong views either way. I'm pretty centrist, but like, I just have my strong opinions, right? And so the best way I found to like get people on my side was just to say challenging things in a funny way. And give me a lot of expression. Now, I never really wanted to do comedy. how it happened was I was married to my ex-wife she used to call herself a comedian. She was really funny. Part of the reason we got married, she was the funniest person I ever met.
Very funny.
She was really funny, and we would write together, and we would produce
I saw you
a lot.
in some skits.
Yeah, we would do a lot of skits together.
Yeah.
We were in like the top 3 most followed like TikTok couples. She did 4 billion views. Our videos together did like around 1 billion. I mean, it was actually crazy when she moved here. I used to hang out with like Ron Jeremy and like some pretty big people like Rodman and stuff. She got more people coming up to her on the street than these like established celebrities did when we were in LA at that peak, when she was really, we were really hitting, our audience reach was like over 100 million a month. We were having a lot of fun, but she would call herself a comedian. And actually, you were the catalyst on it, because I remember you were doing some of the Comedy Store, and you were like, hey, I could probably get your wife like 5 minutes up on stage if, have her put something together, right? And so I'm like, look, you call yourself a comedian, you got to be able to do 5 minutes of stand up. And so she was open to the idea, and so I got her a coach, and I got her a writing coach, and they were helping her, but she just had horrible stage fright. She just could not go on stage. She could make her TikTok videos, and she could do 100 takes and make them funny. The girl could not get on stage for 5 minutes and tell 6 jokes. And I don't blame her. A lot of people can't do it, right? So the thing was, her and I had written, we wrote like we were like the best writing partners ever. It was, if I were to miss any one thing, it's having that creative connection with somebody where you're just on the floor writing, laughing your ass off, and like being like, can you imagine, like, and then especially make the video the next day and boom, like the first hour, 1 million views, 2 million views, and you're watching it, and like, and we would troll a lot. We would like pretend that we were like in fights on the internet and stuff, and then people would be like, I can't tell if this is real or not. And we would have so much fun just like trolling the world, literally, man, and it was awesome. But what ended up happening, we had this plan. We had been offered a opportunity. There was a hotel chain that wanted us to do like a Lucy and Ricky style, like husband and wife show, where basically I would go up and open, and I would rip on women for 30 minutes. And then I would hand it over to her, and she would rip on men for 30 minutes. And it would just be like this marriage show where like everybody's getting made fun of, and everybody just walks away, and there'd be like a big after party. And like, they had offered us this opportunity. I was like, and I wrote it. So I wrote it, and it was basically like all these just like ripping on your wife, like these low, almost like Rodney Dangerfield, kind of like low hanging husband and wife jokes. But it was written tastefully to where it was like, okay, I'm going to make fun of her like this, and then she's going to make fun of me, and everybody has fun, right? And what ended up happening is, sadly, we got divorced. And after the divorce, the writing coach, who I had hired for her, he had become a client, and we were still working together. And he's like, Vito, I got to tell you, he's like, every time we're at lunch, you're cracking me up, man. He's like, I really think you should take the material, and he's like, I'm going to put pressure on you. It's like, this was like November of last year. No, last year would be November 2023. It's like a year and a half ago. I've only been doing comedy a year and a half. So a year and a half ago, we're having dinner at Soho House, and he tells me, he's like, look, I'm putting a date on the calendar, Ice House Pasadena. It's a great club. He's like, you're opening for Jamie Kennedy and Tom Arnold. You're going to do 10 minutes. And he's like, if you don't show up to that show and kill it, I'm not going to be your client anymore. I'm like, okay, now this is costing me real money.
You have to kill it.
Yeah, so I have to kill it. So he's like, and I'm going to hold your hand through the whole thing. We wrote 10 minutes, and I went up there, and it's kind of like it's like, when you gamble, like the worst thing that can happen to you as a gambler is like you win the first time. You become like a degenerate gambler your whole life. I went up there and I killed it so hard the first time that I have just become straight up addicted to doing stand up. And it's been a really good outlet for me, and I think people enjoy it. But believe it or not, like the stand-up comedy clips bring me more PR business than my PR clips that I was doing.
Well, they're more fun to watch if you're following you on Instagram.
Exactly. So people they are incentivized to follow me. And then I don't even really talk about like PR and stuff, but I just talk about my business, marriage, like, life and stuff. So people can tell what I'm about. And what happens is people feel like they really know you. And especially when these, like my views do like 1 million, 2, 3 million on some of these comedy videos, way easier to get 3 million views on a comedy video than I do $5 of ads and it'll do 1 million views,
Amazing.
So it's way easier to get a comedy video viral than it is to get like a business video. And then people just know me. And then they're like, as they get to know me, like we have our whole little funnel. They start seeing my ads, And then they're like, oh, that's a comedian guy. Oh yeah, he does PR too. Like, and then, it is actually bringing business in, believe it or not. So I'm monetizing the comedy, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great way to get people together. And my comedy shows are actually, they're kind of unique because of the audience. So because of my ex-wife's followers following me, they're like all good-looking Eastern European girls. My shows are like 50% really hot girls.
Not a horrible audience.
Not a horrible audience, right? So it's like I have these like supermodels coming to my shows, and because they're like either wanting to like, in the beginning it was kind of like they wanted to like shoot their shot with me, whatever. Now it's just kind of a thing. So we have these like beautiful Eastern European audience, and then guys heard that there's like all these hot girls coming to my shows, and also a lot of these men have also had like brutal divorces from like Russian girls.
You're kind of like
stuff.
Matt Rife. You guys look so much alike.
Right. Well, yeah. It's just like right. Exactly. Right. It's like I told you, I have my reverse body dysmorphia, right? Where I'm like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I'm so fucking sexy. Let's go kill it. But so what happens is a lot of my audience is also wealthy men that have gone through the same things that I'm talking about, like being divorced from a Russian girl, the dating in Hollywood, how intense it is, the sugar baby lifestyle dating that is just going mainstream, and we make fun of it all. So these rich guys that have experienced it, I actually had a pharma CEO hit me up. That was my highest paid comedy gig. The wife, his new wife called me, and she was like, my husband is obsessed with your comedy because he went through all that same stuff with his ex-wife. Would you play his birthday party? And I got her to pay me, and they flew me out, and I did my little, wife routine and ex-wife routine, and they were eating it up. So these guys are like mansion in Palm Beach. These are pharma CEOs, So these very wealthy men come, and so it's like hot girls and wealthy men. And then we've been doing these after parties now, and the after parties I'm almost like, it's becoming like a matchmaking event,
So you become kind of like this Playboy persona of yourself. Kind
of, right? And it's like, I just really am like leaning into it, and I'm like, I'm just, sometimes like the audience picks you, like you can't pick your own nickname. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like somebody's got to give it to you, right?
Yeah, I was given D Money as my nickname.
See, you know what I mean?
I would never say I'm D Money.
Yeah, you can't just show up and start calling yourself D Money, right? It's like if it's a given name, then it's cool. So anyways, I love doing the comedy, and we're actually doing a show tonight, Yamashiro, and then I got a show Friday, and I'm doing Laugh Factory May 1st. And so it's like, it's funny because when you follow your passion, the path opens for you. If you really want it. And now I literally get offered a comedy spot 7 nights a week in LA.
Amazing.
And I just turn them down because they take a lot of energy. So now I kind of,
and then you got to write new material, because if you have people that have just seen your last show, they don't want to see the same show again, right? We do. So I have this thing where I promise my fans 50% new material every show. So we do I rewrite, I do a new intro, and then I have a structured set, which is like kind of crowd interactive. It's always a fan favorite. And then we try to mix up the closing. So it's always something fun. But what was the worst joke you ever told?
Worst joke.
What went over so bad?
Oh, I'll tell you. And I got the specific one. This is my favorite. I think it's a great joke, and nobody ever laughs, but it's a great joke, and I'll tell it right now. So basically, I always this joke I like to open with is I'm like, guys, it's kind of crazy to me. I'm like, how do you like Luka, right? We got Luka now in the Lakers. I'm like, it's crazy to me that Trump has only been president for 2 months. We already have 3 white starters on the Lakers. I mean,
I think it's pretty funny.
I think it's funny, But
it's always like an awkward silence when you give a Trump joke.
It's always crickets, and I think it's the combo of it being a Trump joke, people not really getting what 3 white starters on the Lakers maybe means, right? Like a lot of the girls probably don't know that, and then they're like, people don't know that's unusual. I've never seen Lakers have 3 white starters. This is like,
true.
It's kind of crazy. And
right.
but so they do, Seth MacFarlane says, he's like, the best jokes are usually wasted on the audience. But that's a pretty bad one. Then I tell you my Magic Johnson joke. This is my little Lakers set, but it's like, so Magic Johnson, why is he famous? Because he got HIV, right? And he was a great basketball player. But since contracting HIV, he's opened 100 Starbucks, 100 pizza places, majority franchise owner, and 2 professional sports teams. It makes you wonder, did he get AIDS or financial AIDS?
That's a good one.
Come on,
See,
come on, bro. People don't laugh at this stuff.
That's
it's
a good
crazy.
one.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
So I won't tell you my Kobe one. That's really bad. I'll tell you that one with the mics off.
Too
it's too soon for that. Yeah, and we all love Kobe, so it's
of course.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this up, but before I wrap it up, I want people to know exactly where they could learn more about you and if they're interested in becoming a client.
Let's go. So glazersmedia.com. We make famous people rich. We make rich people famous. You can find us on all social media, and you can get a fast proposal by texting celeb to 26786.
Nice. Well, congrats on all of your success. I'm happy to promote you.
Thank you, brother.
And just check him out online, everybody. This guy is the man. He's come a long way. So very proud of you.